what's up? It's Aaron from Latest Craftbox, back again with a bit of a different demo video. It's a bit more in depth. This is a Ramon Allones. I don't know, wicked green boxes anyway. Excuse me. I'd made the cigar box guitar up just before Christmas, and between sort of storms and just rushing it out the door, I'd like overlooked some of the setup. So Alan asked me to take a quick look over it because it wasn't quite right, and I was kicking myself because it was so many minor details, like a couple of minor details, but that make such a huge difference. So I figured I'd do a quick demo video and sort of treat this as a bit of a diary to remind myself more than anything of like what to aim for and shoot for with these fretless guitars now. So for the longest time, I used to do high action guitars, fretless. Just call it ignorance or whatever else. I just figured it's easy to play. The guitar I learnt on had a super high action, so I just figured that was just sort of the go-to. That's kind of what I imitated for the longest time. However, I saw a Chickenbone John video on fretless guitars. I think it was titled like "Everything You Know About Fretless Cigar Box Guitars Is Wrong," and in true Chickenbone fashion, super informative video, explained every point really well, and sort of made me reflect on how I make guitars, because he was right. So in terms of this guitar and what was changed, so we started out with a bridge similar to this with like a bolt. It was way too low. I say way too low, it was a couple mil low. The same at the nut was slotted high, again in sort of typical fashion for what I was sort of building at the time. However, now I try and aim for lower action because you should not be limited on a fretless CBG. Basically, it's something that I've been looking into. So swapped it out for a fret wire bridge that's now the correct height, and filed down the nut. So now we are at, if the camera's going to focus, man, 0.75 at the first fret or thereabouts. I think we're a little bit, now pretty much on the money. And then if we go down to the 12th fret here, you can sort of see there we're at 3, which was kind of what I went off from that video, and I literally can't state enough the difference that it makes. So before this guitar, the action was probably, let me just grab the whole thing here, you see that 2, it was 2 across the whole thing, so it was like perfectly straight. And what it meant was that when Alan was trying to hit sort of individual notes without a slide, they were just pulling out a tune, whereas now it doesn't. The fret wire bridge as well, I think it has a better sustain for the box and like transfer. It's just, that could just be just my dodgy hearing, but there we go. The other thing I noticed, because I lowered it, I added these string tees in just to keep the tension right. It's only a couple of mil, but I just wanted to make sure, because I think some of I think it was the top string wasn't holding tune. It turned out to be a dodgy machine head anyway, which is kind of what you get for using a bit more of an economy tuner, I guess. But these are actually alright. It was just a bit of a dodgy bag, so they've been changed over. So we've been re-oiled, rejigged, and ready to go. So we'll do a quick sound demo now, and then I will get this guitar back to Alan ASAP. Super talented local artist, man. If he wants me to, I can link some of his stuff, I guess, because yeah, I was super gutted when he got in touch saying that the guitar wasn't quite right. And then I was more gutted that I'd overlooked it. But this is sort of what I'm going to be shooting for now with guitars, I reckon. You've got great versatility. You shouldn't. Well, I think the biggest thing, and the thing that I took away from that video, is that just because you've got a fretless CBG shouldn't mean that you're sort of limited to only slide. Which I think, in terms of the longevity of people wanting to play and get into these amazing instruments, that's what it should be about, you know? So anyway, let's get to the sound. Right, so we've made some of the adjustments to this guitar. We're going through a mobile cube on the lead setting. So, as I stated before, we've loaded the action, so now like individual notes. The individual notes aren't coming out of tune when you're pressing them. Again, it's all about the versatility now. I've definitely seen the light when it comes to these guitars. I really loved this guitar before it went out, but now I sort of love it even more. It packs like a good punch. I love these boxes. Sorry if my playing's a bit off. It's been a bit of a rough week the last week. Yeah, so with that lower action, being able to hit individual notes, it opens up a fretless guitar more than just having a high action. So a little bit of overdrive now. These humbuckers pack a punch, man. I'll still maintain that whilst the versatility's definitely opened up with individual notes, I think to get the most you do want a slide, and there's no better person for slides than Dylan at Celestial Slides, man. I've started stocking a couple of these at guitar shows, and I religiously use mine now. Being like pretty much just a slide player, I've struggled for ages trying to find a decent slide, and I can't sing his praises enough, man. Top bloke, top product. So if you're after one, get in touch. But I think to get the most out of your fretless guitar, you definitely want to nail having a good slide. there you go. Solid improvements to what was a pretty average CBG. Like I said, I was kicking myself for getting this out the door so quickly, but with them few sort of minor adjustments, you can actually really open up your playing on a fretless CBG, which I think is really important, especially if you're signing to people at the end of the day. So that's sort of what we're aiming for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, sound demos and that. Alan, I hope this guitar serves you well. I look forward to hearing what you come up with, and yeah, cheers.